Hello, everyone. My name is Michael, and I will tell you how to use Secure Boot on Rockchip RK3588. And I have technical difficulties. For Secure Boot on RK3588, you have to generate a key, sign your image, burn the hash of the key to your hardware, and that's it. Secure Boot is enabled. Thank you for your attention. I see that I have some time left, so maybe we look a bit closer. I will tell you about how Secure Boot works on RK3588, how to actually sign the firmware image, how to enable Secure Boot, and finish with some recommendations and further resources for reading into it. That's me. Secure Boot or Verify Boot is a set of verification processes designed to ensure the integrity and legitimacy of the firmware running on a device. I stole that definition from the Rockchip Secure Boot Developer Guide. So, for Secure Boot, we have some image. In this case, I have a Rockchip image with a key in it, a signature on that, and a bootloader inside. The SoC during boot, it runs in boot ROM. For Secure Boot, it reads the hash, we mentioned it before, from secure OTP. That's e-fuses that you burn once, and then you can't change them anymore. On RK3588, these are only accessible from the secure world or EL3. Details don't matter, but that will be important later on. It compares the hash in the OTP area with hash over the public key that's contained in the image. Use that public key to verify the signature of the image. Use a hash in the header to verify the bootloader and execute the actual bootloader. We can't do anything about this. So everything we have here is in the boot ROM provided by Rockchip, and we don't have a chance to change it. We have to trust the boot ROM. We have to trust the OTP that it's really writable only once and that it's not changeable during boot. What we can change is how we get the key, the signature, and the hash into the OTP area. So in the factory or on your build server, you have a key pair. And from there, you take the public key and put it into the image and use the private key to sign the image. The thing that has to be secret in this case is the private key you see in purple on the slides. And you have to somehow get the hash of the public key into your device. That's also something that you have to do in a secure environment. So it has to happen in your factory. You have to have full control over this step. Otherwise, someone may change and write some different hash into your device, and Secure Boot is broken. First, let's look into how image signing works. Of course, Rockchip provides a downstream solution for that. It uses MK-Image to generate the firmware image, and then you get the RK sign tool, which generates the key pair and allows you to sign an image. This approach is supported by Rockchip, of course, but this RK sign tool is binary only. So we don't know what's going on in there. We may trust it, we are not sure. The RK sign tool is also a bit clumsy to use. So you run it several times, and in the background it generates a configuration file. So that's not something that's easy to integrate into your build tools or your build chain. And I'm personally not sure if the ArcDesign tool supports HSM support. So I saw a few hints, but I never was able to actually work with some HSM. So that's a question. With barebox, we use OpenSSL to generate the key pair. I think we can kind of trust OpenSSL to actually provide proper keys. And barebox provides an open source tool, RK-Image, which generates the image. And in the same step, it also signs the image. So once you build a barebox with a configuration for secure boot, you will get your final image already signed. The advantage here is all the tools are open source, so you can look at the source code, modify it if necessary, and build it yourself. The RK-Image tool supports PKCS11 for talking to any HSM that provides this interface for retrieving your private key, so you can use that to get better security on your private keys and move it out of a build infrastructure. The disadvantage is it's not supported by Rockchip. If that's a disadvantage or an advantage, I don't know. You have to decide. And it may lack features that are provided by Rockchip. I'm not sure if there is anything missing from RK-Image. I implemented what I needed and ignored all the other features. You may need more or something that's provided by Rockchip. For the board lockdown, the downstream solution, I told you OTP access is only possible from the secure world or EL3. So in U-boot, U-boot needs to write the hash in the early boot. It retrieves the key from the device tree. So you put your device public key into the device tree. And during boot, U-boot calculates the hash on this public key, and it writes the hash into the OTP area. Problem with that is you require a separate image that carries the public key in the device tree for your device bootstrapping. That's something you can do, but in this case, you have a separate image in your factory that you have to manage. And because the OTP is not accessible from the normal world or other exception levels, you can't check if your board has secure boot enabled or which hash is written into the OTP area. So you have no information if secure boot is actually on. In barebox, the lockdown works slightly different. You calculate the hash on your build machine. So the public key hash is something, it can be public, so you can carry it around. You just you have to ensure the integrity of this hash, but that's a different issue. And on the device in barebox, you have a separate command that you can run. Give it this hash, and it will enable a secure boot. So you can use at runtime a command to enable secure boot on your devices. And since the OTP area is not accessible from the normal world, it has to go through OP-TEE, and OP-TEE will write the hash, actually write the hash to OTP. So there are two parts in that. One in barebox for talking to OP-TEE and as a user interface, and an OP-TEE PTA to actually enable a secure boot on the device. This approach needs scripts during your manufacturing. So at one step in your manufacturing, you run your system, check secure boot is not enabled, then run the command with your hash, enable secure boot, and after that, only secure boot will be enabled. You have the advantage to be able to exactly determine when this will happen during your manufacturing. So you can do stuff before, enable secure boot, and do stuff afterwards. That's your responsibility here. And the second part is you need OP-TEE support with the RK Secure PTA. You need an upstream OP-TEE for that. So it won't work with the OP-TEE provided by Rockchip. So to come back to the first slide, you use OpenSSL to generate the key pair. It's an RSA key. You configure your barebox build to assign the image with this key, and you enable the RK Secure command to talk to OP-TEE. You build your image. You use this RK OTP script to calculate your key hash. You can pass your key there, or you can also pass an image there, and it will extract the public key and give you the hash for that. And you boot barebox and run the RK Secure command, and Secure Boot will be enabled. Some recommendations. Store your private signing keys on HSM. The secure module. No question about that. If you enable Secure Boot, check your public root key hash before you program it into your device. You will have a brick otherwise. And because of that, you want to test on expandable hardware first. So if you only have one device on your desk, I wouldn't try to enable Secure Boot there. And after you enable Secure Boot, you would want to test if unsigned images or images that are signed with a different key are rejected. So to be really sure that Secure Boot is enabled. A few further resources. The GitHub repository by Dual Takuyan, I don't know how to pronounce that. They did a lot of reverse engineering, so everything I know about Secure Boot on RK3588, I know from that repository, and I worked on building it into the upstream projects to make it useful or usable. Another resource is the Rockchip Developer Guide. It will partly document what's happening in the early Secure Boot, and it will also talk about how Rockchip recommends to sign Linux or sign the rootfs and have the Secure Boot continuing after your bootloader loaded. I didn't cover that because that's something once you have a trusted bootloader running, you can decide how to continue further in your boot chain and ensure Secure Boot there. The documentation of barebox documents the process how to enable Secure Boot. So what I told you in this talk, you can find in the documentation as well in smaller steps and what to enable and how to enable it. And you can find the RK Secure PTA in upstream OP-TEE OS in this repository. So in the latest OP-TEE releases, you already have the PTA that's necessary for Secure Boot. Of course. So now actually, thank you. If you have any questions, meet me later in the evening because we won't have time for questions here. If you have questions about my design decisions, I'm very welcome to hear about that. If you want to implement that in U-Boot, also talk to me. I have an implementation for barebox, but not in U-Boot. If you want to implement that in U-Boot, come to me. And see you today in the evening. Thank you.